So New York Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz seem to agree on at least one thing: draining the swamp. The unlikely bipartisan matchup could soon be in the works in an effort to help overhaul D.C.'s lobbyists after AOC tweeted her displeasure with former congressional members signing on with such firms. Senator Cruz backed her position, tweeting yesterday, quote, "I have long called for a lifetime ban on former members of Congress becoming lobbyists. The swamp would hate it, but perhaps a chance for some bipartisan cooperation." The two then hashed out potentially teaming up on a bill over Twitter, with Cruz replying to Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's proposal, quote, "You're on." Heidi Cruz, is this actually going to, sorry, I had Ted Cruz on the brain. Heidi Przybyla, is this actually going to happen?
It does seem that they have some co-sponsors volunteering on Twitter, and I have to say this is one of the warmest and fuzziest interactions I've ever seen on Twitter between two members of Congress. That said, it's my job to be skeptical,
yes,
which I am, because this is just such a colossal problem in Washington. However you want to define the swamp, whether it's big money in politics or members of Congress going to get cushy jobs after Congress. It is such a big problem, and when you talk to the leadership, you see that there is absolute resistance in the Senate to even have a discussion about the massive ethics and campaign finance reform legislation that was passed in the House. And what would happen inevitably in a discussion, let's say a theoretical discussion about this, would be that Democrats would want to have that broader discussion and not be satisfied with a piecemeal approach. I may be wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong, because this is such a massive problem. Let me give you a number here. Since Citizens United was enacted by the Supreme Court, we've now hitting a watershed number here of $1 billion in dark money in our politics. Dark money is defined as money that is basically untraceable to the donors. We, as the press, cannot report to you, as the people, about where this money is coming from. Then you look at what's happening in Washington, D.C. as well, with the influence of corporate lobbyists over critical agencies like the EPA, where you have a coal lobbyist running the EPA, or HHS, where you have former pharmaceutical executives running HHS. These are all incestuous circles where these executives are in charge of policing the industries that they will eventually and inevitably go back to work for.
So, Nick, this is the revolving door of Washington. You serve, you leave, then somebody pays you for your access to the people you just served with. But there is a principled argument against this. It's nice to see two people from opposite sides of the aisle, which is that the United States Congress politicians should not dictate what people can and cannot do once they're no longer serving.
Right. The principled argument is that. The self-interested argument, of course, is that the people that Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Cruz are going to ask to vote on this are the people who are looking ahead to their K Street payday, which is a retirement package. It's hard to imagine now, but there was a time 30 or 40 years ago where it was almost unheard of for a member of Congress to go be a lobbyist, and it's really not a senator. And now it has become so routine, I can't think off the top of my head of a retiring lawmaker who has not gone to work for a lobby shop or a quasi-lobby shop. It's become the life cycle for Congress, and so they're highlighting an important problem, I think.
At the very least, it's nice to see two people getting along on Twitter for 5 minutes anyway. Still ahead, another Democratic White House hopeful agrees to a Fox News town hall, while another candidate explains her decision to stay away. Morning Joe's coming right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.